Ladies and gentlemen, today, like every day this year, you're going to be hearing another something blowing up, another terrorist threat, another international flashpoint. It's going to be the way it's going to be this year, but I'm going to tell you something. I asked the Lord to help me see the year ahead. And, you know, I should have been surprised when he said there's going to be rumors of wars. There's going to be distresses of nations. Do not be surprised. Do not be shocked. But God is going to show us today in this broadcast how to have the spiritual X-ray vision to anticipate what's coming and walk in peace of mind. Now, while that's happening, I've been looking forward to, I don't know how I could put it other than this is going to be a year, I think, where we're going to get our physical bodies in order. A big emphasis for my crowd that's older, over 50, and fasting has always been a challenge for me. But I've found that weight loss, fasting, spiritually managing my gut, my physical body, there's a way to do it, and it's going to be the New Year Reset Bundle. I mean, this is for many of us, we're going to be fasting and praying into the new year. We're already started, but it's going to be this first quarter. We're going to start strong. Go check out the New Year Bundle. Bone broth protein with nutrient-dense support systems with 20 grams of I guess it's like protein per serving and multi-collagen protein for joint flexibility, skin, hair, etc. But the probiotic here that supports your digestive health and is probably the one feature that in combination with these others is going to produce the weight management angle that I'm looking for, improving digestion, losing weight, being able to detox, and to absorb nutrients. This is a powerful bundle. I want you to go to lancewallnau.com/reset. I'm doing it myself, and it makes a massive difference. The protein gives me clarity. I don't feel hungry. lancewallnau.com/reset. Let's start the year off together and make this the strongest year you've ever been alive doing what God called you to do. lancewallnau.com/reset. Take advantage of this offer and take 25% off when you make this decision to enter the new year strong. Let's get into today's show. Well, it's already been the launch into the new year. It's already happened. You're in the new year. Let me ask you a question. Are things moving the direction that you were hoping they'd move in? I want to talk about something which I think is evergreen in content. I have Mercedes to my right in the studio. What? I got Carl to my left, or to your right and left on the screen in front of you at home.
I think it's the first time my dad's ever said I'm right.
That's
Happy New Year, everyone.
And ironically, you're on my left in the studio.
Proof positive. There we go.
So here's the thought that I got. First of all, I want to point out that the year began, and it's continuing to unravel in a way that is creating all kinds of stress for people. And now, particularly, I want to address people that claim to be believers in God, which is a large part of our Sunday audience, and on weekends especially, or I don't know if we're on Saturday. I think we're on Sunday with Real America's Voice. But let's just get this straight. I was going through the kitchen today, and my wife was having a meeting with her nonprofit, which is great. They meet there every week in my house. And one of the ladies that's there came up to me and said, "Lance, do you have your World War III phone?" I looked at her. It's one of those situations where you're actually trying to avoid a conversation. You know what I mean? You're not giving eye contact. You're trying to look down at the floor. You're moving fast, but the person stops you. They're going to get you. And I thought, oh, boy, here we go. Do you have your World War III phone? I go, what are you talking about? You know, the phone that you could use in the event that the lines go down. It's like, I guess, you know, every now and then I see Bannon talking about it. It's a war room type phone. Satellite phone, yeah. The satellite phone. And I had this flush of frustration because it was hitting me at the wrong time. And I said, no. That wasn't, nobody gave me at Christmas my apocalyptic survival package with the satellite phone. And you know what I realized? I think that we were so conditioned in 4 years of, January 6th, Trump. If you were following Trump closely, if you felt like America was teetering on the brink of Marxist oblivion, if you felt like with Tommy Robinson over there in the UK, that the suppression, I mean, Charlie Kirk told me, he said, I thought I was going to go to prison for sure, like Bannon or Navarro, if we didn't win. And he had evidence that they were letting him know that. I mean, they were writing stuff about me. Look, I'm getting all worked up now. My whole point was don't let yourself get worked up. I was going to make the point. I was going to make the point. Don't let yourself get worked. And I'm getting worked up right now. So, but listen, I just looked at articles. I was going to throw them away. I have wads of these. Every broadcast we do, we do a lot of work on it. And I had a bunch of them at home, and I was going to throw them away. You know what they were? They were articles that were coming out hitting us on the Courage Tour.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were going to take us down. Because we dared go to swing states and have rallies with revival and mobilize Christians to vote. Anyway, I'm looking at the articles. You know what the theme was? Violence from the Christians. It was such a lie. It was such an infuriating lie. I mean, we are such milquetoast. Most of the pastors don't want to talk about politics. Thank God the Christians went out and voted because the churches didn't do anything for the most part to help it happen.
I mean, the Christians are the body. They are the church, so they did something.
The pastors themselves, let me finish my thought. The pastors didn't do the leading. The people in the pews went out in spite of them. The point that I'm making here is that the battle that we're in right now is a battle to be able to keep our head clear from a manipulated cycle, because the news articles that were coming out were trying to make us look like we were a violent insurgency in order to be violent with us, in order to lock us up, in order, if we had the FBI and the DOJ and the media in the place where the devil wanted it, and they were darn close to getting it, then they would have had the narrative. Like, you look at these terrorist events going on, you notice there's like nobody's really talking about, well, who's doing it? Are these Muslim extremists in the United States that came in through the border because Biden opened up the country to millions of infiltrators? How much of ISIS, how much of Iranian militants, how much of that is, how many of the cartels that are military grade weapons type people, not amateurs, like that try to shoot at Trump at a golf course and in Butler, but professionals that are out to kill him? How much of that is in the United States? And you can look at that. They were going to take Christians down, but Christians are not the threat. We saw God move that spirit back, but now you have Trump's administration coming in, but you don't have control of the crazies. And what you're going to see is an increasing cycle of irrational, violent acts. And I believe that we have to stop and see the hand of God mitigating, as bad as it is, mitigating the damage that's being done. Give you an example of what I'm talking about. Elon, a while back, when that Tesla vehicle was detonated, what was it? The Tesla, those cars what are they? SUVs or what are they?
Cybertruck?
Cybertruck? It's a Cybertruck?
I think that's what they're called.
So Elon is saying, hey, I'm glad that it happened this way, because my trucks are only a knucklehead would pick this vehicle for a bomb, because it's the way that it is. The blow went up, fire went up, but there was minimum damage done. And the fact that it was done at 3:00 in the morning didn't seem like a very intelligent plan for maximizing damages. But that's where you see grace of God mitigating the disaster. But I guess the point that I'm making in this monologue is this: you have to make a choice, and you really have to be intentional about this, especially those of us that are in the news business. I got a call from, I get calls, when the news cycle is terrorist events and stuff like that, I get calls from certain news outlets. Can you go on live tonight? Everybody wants to talk about it. like the lady that wants to talk about World War III and do I have my satellite phone yet? I want to say that we were so traumatized in the 4 years of Trump that I fear we're conditioned for bad news, and we get stuck in the cycle of traumatizing ourselves needlessly. All the World War III talk right now. I mean, I got so many news feeds, so many chat threads coming to me. By the way, this explains why. Do you think the attendance is going to be down on the inauguration?
I was really wondering about that. I was a little worried because if the terror attacks kind of continue, my fear is the border's been open for so long. We probably have a lot of these sleeper cells kind of embedded in different parts of the country. So I'm wondering, oh my goodness, is something happening? Are people being activated now? And so I wonder, Lance. I mean, I know I'm still going, and I'm sure a lot of the other Americans. I mean, I think of Trump when he's like fight, fight, fight. That I'm like, I'm not going to be intimidated to not show up. But I think that there is a thought that's kind of percolating out there that, man, anything could happen.
All right. What do you think, Carl? Do you think that there's going to be decreased attendance and participation at the inauguration because of fear?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that the right base is ready to rally behind Trump, just as they did in the election last year. I think it's going to show moderate, if not actually like strong support in actual boots on the ground inauguration day.
What do you guys think is going to be the response of? I mean, let me put it to you this way. I believe that it could have a opposite effect on what the enemy meant for harm, God turned to good. I think terrorism events, which is a logical expression of the insurgency of hatred against America, including the protests that are going on now, I mean, of all the stupid times to support ISIS and to protest about about Gaza and stuff. I think the enemy is setting himself up kind of like a wardrobe malfunction to do the wrong thing at the wrong time, which will work to Trump's advantage. I think every terrorist event increases the agreement with Trump that we need to have a mass deportation of people that don't belong here. What do you guys think?
Mercedes?
Oh no, Carl, please, you first.
I mean, I'm just saying the quiet part out loud. I think that when people look at that, they go, who are these people? How did they get here? What are they doing here? And of course, the left-wing pundits are going to say, the man that did the thing in New Orleans was an Army veteran. He'd been here with distinguished service for like 15 years. You ever notice how some of these weird events that happen, like at Fort Hood, is a guy who is Islamic or Muslim who comes into the military in the United States, has a distinguished history, then flips a switch and goes jihad. I mean, Glenn Beck could probably do a whole show on this is all part of the program. But I'm saying the average American is going to look at that and go, and what, for better or for worse, they're going to say, you don't belong here. And we're going to go back to a nativist. This is actually not where I want to go, but it's going to go to the point where you're saying, if you don't belong here, you don't belong here.
Well, a great example of what you're talking about, though, is this doctor. It's a Saudi doctor who came into Germany, had been there for 8 years, and just drove through and killed 8 people in Germany. And so that's what you're saying. Like even people who are potentially even coming here legally may have been radicalized. And so I think more so, Lance, it's the people who are radicalized that were saying, hey, this isn't the highest and best, right? This is what Trump did a tweet the other day saying, I was heavily not a tweet, it's his on whatever his truth platform is, but I was criticized. Yeah, I was criticized for saying these things, that they're not sending us our best and their brightest. But it's like you look at some of these incidents, and what we're worried about is there might be more of them. And so where does that leave us? Where does that leave this new administration in terms of how do we get the radicals out?
All right, we're going to be right back. We're not done with this yet. You better believe we're going to have this. We'll be right back. We're entering a period of time that has increased hostility against people of faith. It's a time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral, physical, psychological, and even a financial basis. I'm here to remind you that God is the one who has blessed you thus far, and he will take care of you in the future. You have a divine responsibility, however, to see trouble and prepare yourself. For example, with record inflation eating away at the value of the US dollar, the savings in your retirement account is in danger of slipping away. I recommend diversifying your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Now that includes no penalties, there's no taxes when you transfer current retirement funds into Birch Gold. To see how it works, I want you to go to lancewallnau.com/Birch and get your free info kit, and you'll be glad that you did. All right, we're back in here. Now, look, while we're on the theme, you guys been following the Tommy Robinson in prison thing. Now, I know that happened a little while ago, but does my team here have the clip? We weren't going to use any of this earlier, and I just changed my mind. Do you have the article? All right, who is Tommy Robinson? Why Elon Musk is posting about far-right British activists. This is back from January 2nd. And what you need to know about Tommy is he's very courageous. I mean, he's kind of a folk hero in a way, because he flat out calls out the grooming gangs, the Islamic gangs that don't belong in the UK. But there's so many Muslims in the UK that they're not going to be able to deal with it. And this is a sad, sad commentary. And so then they go woke. Worse yet, they got the worst of both worlds. They have radicalized too large a minority that's become a significant, marginal majority of immigrants in the country that are not with any history of the UK, British values, culture, etc. And so they're incompatible, completely incompatible. But the woke mentality that says, oh, that's not true. A man could be a woman and you could be a radical Islamic person and still come into and get along with your neighbor. That kind of unreality put together a chemistry in the UK where a guy like Tommy, who's a blue-collar, outspoken Alex Jones type, says no, and the gangs are grooming kids and they're doing gang rapes and they're dangerous, and we need to. If the government won't deal with it because the government's afraid to deal with it and they are so woke, they don't want to be accused of being intolerant. And so they take him, the whistleblower, and lock him up in prison. Then to keep him from getting hurt in prison for exposing the government for their incompetence and for suppressing the facts about the Islamic gangs, he gets put in solitary confinement for his own sake. So now the poor guy's in solitary confinement because the government had to lock him up, but it's too dangerous because of Islamic gangs in the prison. Something's way out of control there, I tell you what. So Nigel Farage has his hands full. He's the Trump over there that helped inspire Brexit, which they never did. And they got a problem. Anyway, so Mercedes, welcome back.
Yeah,
Carl?
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have you been following with Tommy Robinson at all? Do you check?
No, not at all. But one thing I am very happy to say is that we won the Revolutionary War all those years ago. And thank God, because those guys have fallen off the deep end, accusing people of thought crimes, arresting them for not thinking properly. It's like, dude, what is going on over there?
By the
Like,
way,
what actually happened?
I have a very important question.
Uh-oh.
At what point is it that you take down the Christmas tree behind your head? How many days into January? Mercedes, how many days into January do we take down I like the holiday festivity.
It depends.
I think it happened too fast.
Mhm.
Christmas came too fast for me. And I didn't get a chance to really squeeze the essence of the Christmas spirit out. And it's warm in Texas. We had our best days of, San Diego weather. I didn't really feel the holiday experience.
I know. Well, you travel so much. And I mean, I don't think you guys got your tree up until like 2 or 3 days before Christmas. So, you got to extend it. It's a great time of year celebrating the Lord's birth.
It could also be that the staff was on holiday mode and didn't bother to take down the set. Just left it up.
I can confirm that is not the case. I can 100% confirm as a staffer myself, that was not the case. We were very clearly instructed to leave the set as is.
I'll leave it as is. Well, I like the holiday chair.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. You are going to shape our program in the new year, and I want to know. Back up. Go back in the Mr. Producer. Back up the camera. Can you get one on me with just the backdrop of the Capitol? Can you get the Capitol? Can you pull back a little?
Yeah,
I don't know if you
back.
can.
They're
I
doing
got a
it.
room full of cameras. I don't know. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's the effect, Chris.
Little patience.
And my question is, I want you. How do we get mail from people? Do they do chat threads
Can we
in
do Freedom at Lance?
on whatever? On what?
Sure.
Freedom at LanceWallnau.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's freedom at Lance, WALLNAU.com. I want you to comment on what should be in the frame behind me. If it's not Das Kapital, what should be behind me?
A picture of Elon Musk jumping.
Elon Musk jumping is what Carl says.
That's a good one.
Mercedes, it's
No,
important.
Mercedes. No?
I'm just taking a quiet, silent moment and prayer for Claire, who's in our customer support desk.
Oh,
That
Claire.
the Lord knows is going to get all sorts of images.
You know,
of
Claire.
what people
by the way,
think.
she's from Scotland, and she's got a wonderful accent. If you talk to her, it just sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh no,
Okay, so
that is not what Claire sounds like at all.
Not even a little bit.
So
Oh, I love to hear her, dearie. Oh, dearie. Okay.
Just watching this segment is going to give her a migraine.
you make
Poor
her sound
Claire.
like Kim. Kim. That's more of like a Kimmy accent.
Oh, that's Kimmy.
Mhm.
Sweet Kimmy.
Oh, did you hear what happened to Kimmy? Can I tell the story?
No, you can't tell the story.
Oh, come on. These stories are hilarious.
Names
All right.
will be changed.
Not Kimmy.
Not Kimmy.
Kimmy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I won't put it out there. It's hilarious.
For those of you watching in the coming episodes,
gonna
the
tell the
story might come
story.
up. Yeah.
It has to do with throwing a Christmas party.
Dude. Just
Tell the story.
Just tell the
Tell
story.
the story now. You're like the rabbi on Seinfeld. Let's say
No, but
someone
this is
named
hilarious.
Elaine.
This is hilarious. So intercessor, prophetic. For those of you that are in the charismatic world, that I'm going to tell you this: Pentecostals have more fun. That's what I told Jackie Mason once. So the truth of the matter is, this lady who is a very prayerful lady, and she prays a lot. It's one of her things. She prays for people, and she decided to reach out evangelistically to her neighbors, and so she started advertising through her little neighborhood there in Britain. I think it was come over for a special gathering where we can jingle and mingle. So jingle and mingle. That was what she did. Then when the people came in,
Mhm. Yeah.
they had their keys with them, and they said, "Where's the bowl?"
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "What bowl?" They go, "Well, we're going to jingle and mingle." They thought it was a swingers party,
Mhm.
so they were looking for the bowl. And she called me up in a panic. She calls me and goes, "Well, but pray for me. I don't know what I've done, but I've got a house full of swingers." It's particularly funny if you are as naive as we are about these things. So,
To the pure, all things are pure.
and so jingle and mingle. But this is the lady who, when she first came on our dream trips, which we used to do years ago, like 20 of these dream trips to Cobblestone, looked like I think business people and entrepreneurs and people on these weekends. And we're down there, and she discovered emojis. What are you guys laughing at?
Okay, I know the story. We all know the story.
This is good stuff.
All right, I'm
This is
trying to
good
focus
content.
here. I'm ADD. I'm getting okay. So anyway, so she's learning about the emojis, and we create a chat thread for the community because we're all supporting each other. You set goals for the year, goals for this, your business, your marriage, whatever. And and someone had just had someone died. It was like their mother or their father or someone,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted to make sure that she was being supportive in the chat thread, being the British intercessor, sweet little lady she is, and she was sending people. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. I want you to know I'm praying for you. And then she put LOL with little poop piles, and I'm looking at this portrait. She keeps on signing off with everyone. I love you. It was so great meeting you, and the breakthroughs happening in your life. LOL.
Poop
pile.
emoji, poop emoji.
And so I called her up and I said, "Kenny, can you explain to me what you're really trying to tell the people. Well, she said, I'm sending lots of love and Hershey kisses. I said, what? She said, I'm sending lots of love and Hershey kisses. I said, but hear it again. Same lady. I said, that's actually laugh out loud, and those are little poop piles. She was horrified, obviously. That's not how you bring condolences to someone who's going through a grieving
It
process.
may have brightened somebody's day, potentially.
Huh?
It may have brightened, like if I got that message
It brightened
from her,
my day
knowing
because I
who
laughed
she is,
hilarious.
Yeah, knowing who she is and what she's about, I would have tried to look into like, hey, Google, what does LOL mean, from back in the day? And also like, I'll try to keep it PG, but like, sorry that you're dealing with this poop,
Exactly.
Hope you feel better about it.
Well, this is anyway. That's my recollection of why that came to my mind. I don't know, but you can
Because we were talking
comment
about how
on
you
this
were doing
video and
Claire's accent
subscribe and
wrong.
leave reviews. You can all comment and leave reviews.
Yeah, so if behind Lance you wanted to see LOL.
Oh yeah,
with a bunch of
behind me.
poop
That's right.
emojis.
Do you want to see Hershey kisses behind my head with lots of love? But I need you guys to give me advice. Like, what could be behind me there? And just seriously, a skyline. And I want to get rid of these big frames. We don't need these big frames. We just have a beautiful skyline.
The frames are going to stay.
How about a night set? A night set with lights, a city at night.
Ooh.
Like with the lights on.
Yeah, some LEDs maybe.
Kind of like that.
Maybe. I don't
Like
know. We'll
that.
see.
What about all of our partners? We could have pictures of our partners back there.
Well, they might.
this another
not
Jingle
want-
and Mingle
maybe-
story?
Maybe they don't want to be public, or maybe that's the other thing. I was doing. Anyway, let me read a verse in the Bible. I wanted to read a verse. I only got 15 seconds. We're out of time.
John 11:35. Jesus wept. Everybody cheer up.
My
Merry
son
Christmas.
went to. How can you tell your kids went to Christian schools? Because they all know the shortest verse in the Bible. It's
arguably the best
memory verse.
It's arguably one of the best verses. It humanizes the Christ.
Carl, what did your teacher tell you? Your son is very dear, but he must apply himself. Carson gets so mad. He's so mad at her because he always say, he must apply himself. What did she mean by you must apply yourself?
We'll talk about it in the next episode.
Okay.
Wait, I have a verse. Can I read a verse? I read it
What?
the other day. So it's Isaiah 68:6. It says, God makes a home for the lonely. He leads out the prisoners into prosperity. Only the rebellious live in parched lands. I liked it. He makes a place for the lonely, and it talks about how, especially in this new year, commit yourself to Christ, and He will make you prosperous. But if you live in rebellion, it's going to be a parched land. So stop rebelling.
I like that. And we're all 45 seconds over our time limit, but I'll give you this thought, which is what I've started with. Don't let yourself get addicted to the trauma cycle of news. And when you watch this program and the other shows that are on here, understand everyone on this platform is 100% intense about something needs to change and there's a battle. But make sure that it's outside your head and not in your head. Otherwise, you're going to carry unnecessary anxiety, stress, and pain. Whether 1,000 fall at your right or 10,000 at your left, terror events happening, all kinds of stuff. You walk with God, and the peace of God will keep your heart and your mind in Jesus. That's the goal for this year. Then no matter what goes on the outside, you've got peace on the inside. We'll see you again in the next show.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com and use promo code Lance to save big on all of Mike's best products. That's promo code Lance. Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world.